So, kind of summarize all of this because there are usually a lot of questions that come, and I want to make sure we have lots of time for that. Growth is not about hustle. Yes, you can achieve some level of growth through hustle, but you're going to get worn out and it's not scalable and it's not maintainable. So, growth is really about leverage and authority. A strategically positioned book builds that authority. It filters, it builds trust, it generates leads, and it does it automatically. And you don't need to position yourself or be a writer. You want to be the authority. And your book is helping you do that. And the process that you go through. And now there are so many other little pieces to this that I wanted to leave it wide open for lots of questions. Everything from, what do I write about? Will this work for my business? To, how does the process work? And on the other side, now that I've got a book, what do I do with it? How do I grow my business? And so let's just dig in and start asking questions. Mac, is there anything you want to say before people uh, start asking? I think his screen is frozen. So
You've got the plan set out, and
there you
that,
are.
oh, did you lose
You
me?
froze for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. As I was saying, yes, there is some stuff I want to mention. Listening to your presentation, it seems like you have, A, B, C, D lined up in what you do and what you offer. But how does somebody like me filter into those things so I can start thinking about them? We're trying to assist those that have served our countries and our communities and are transitioning, but I have one gentleman. We started a conversation. He said he was in the army. He works in the Pentagon, and that he's a colonel, but he's looking for 5 years in the future. He's been in for 25 years. He's looking for his exit strategy at 30 years. How do we take somebody like that has that much foresight and start guiding them so they can put all this into a practice to get ahead of the game, so to speak?
Ah. So the first thing, like if I were talking with that person, I would ask, what in general terms, what is your goal on the other side? And is it a business goal for one? And if it's not a business goal, but they're still interested in writing a book, there's still a conversation to be had around that for sure. But, we're specifically looking at right now building a business and how does a book help build a business? So the very first thing would be, well, what kind of business are you looking at doing? And even if it's relatively general, but it's too early for a lead gen book, but it's not too early for a book that establishes some authority and provides help, because 30 years in the military, a colonel working at the Pentagon, there are going to be all sorts of life lessons in there. And so that first book, if he's not sure what's happening on the other end, then just work on general authority building. This could be the book that tells their story and there's probably a lot of stories in there. And then the just lessons. And I would ask them to be structured about it. I would ask them to, you know, put them, for example, put it into categories or, like leadership or resilience or whatever the categories end up being, but sharing their life experience through that, that starts the whole authority building. And then when they are ready to look at, well, this is the business I'm looking at doing, and this is, again, looking at those same questions. Who is my ideal client? And what's the big struggle they have that I want to solve for them? And then how do I solve that? Any business is going to have to answer those questions. And then the book conversation comes in of, all right, now let's design the best, most effective book for this particular situation.